Hey guys, it's Ember from MMOs.com, and I'll do another quick weekly news recap of all major MMO news and announcements the week ending January 2nd, 2017. I can't get used to saying that now. This is number 76 of the recap, and I hope everyone had an awesome New Year's Eve celebration, whether it was sitting in front of the PC or going out with friends and family. All I did was eat out, but food is always a great way to celebrate the holidays. But anyways, the first bit of news this week comes from Dungeon Fighter Online, and the news is that the game will be releasing a new character fairly soon. And that's the female priest, at least in the Korean version of the game. No word on when it'll be released, but given that Nexon is pushing out trailers, it shouldn't be too long. A global release shouldn't be too far either, as Nexon's been getting pretty good at releasing content across regions. And for those still curious about MapleStory 2, there's been absolutely nothing since a producer was hired for the game at Nexon's California office a month or so ago. Perhaps we'll get a bigger update on that later this month, or maybe not. Next up, my favorite pay-to-win MOBA, Heroes Evolved, just soft-launched on Android in Europe, with a full launch coming globally later this year. So it's a mobile version of Heroes Evolved. I'm not sure how well it'll do on mobile, as it was initially designed for the PC. I've actually played a good 7 or so hours of Heroes Evolved, which is surprising considering how pay-to-win and absurd the game is. I mean, get this, you can literally pay money to resurrect your character instantly in the game. There's no other way to do this without paying. Dead? 60-second death timer? Base about to die? Don't worry, just whip out that credit card and get that insta-res. It's kind of like buying back in Dota, but instead of gold, you use cash. And you can also shop outside of your fountain if you pay money. There are so many ways to buy absurd advantages in Heroes Evolved with cash. So I'm curious to see how the game will do on mobile. They really take pay to win to the next level. It is the most pay to win MOBA I've seen. But then again, Golden Rush was pretty pay to win as well, so it's a tricky one. I'm moving right along some Revelation Online news, and nothing related to the game's release. Instead, we have an animated movie coming out for Revelation Online in China sometime in 2017. Yes, it is quite absurd, but it's gonna happen. In actual Revelation news, not much has changed. Open beta for the Russian version just began, so I suspect the Western version of the open beta should start fairly soon, and if I had to guess, that will probably be later this month. And based on the video we're seeing in the background, the graphics for the upcoming animated movie, they don't look very good. It just seems like pretty shoddily animated, but who knows, it's just a CGI teaser right now. But yeah, Revelation Online movie is happening. I'm moving right along. Shards Online makes its move to alpha on January 13th. The game's been in development for some time now, but Citadel Studios is finally pushing out to alpha on January 13th. So alpha is still pretty far from release, but I guess it's been in pre-alpha before then. But this alpha update will be pretty large. It'll include necromancy, a UI overhaul, fishing, guild and party systems, allegiance PvP systems, a new catacombs dungeon, and a whole lot more. In fact, the entire new player experience will be revamped. The game will also be launching on Steam Greenlight sometime later. Not quite yet. The developers want to get a larger world, more mounts, and some archery before they push the game on Steam. But Shards Online is making progress. Slow progress, but progress nonetheless. Up next, some more Dark and Light news, but this time not for the PC survival game. Instead, it's for the mobile MMORPG. Yes, they're working on a mobile MMORPG version of Dark and Light, and it'll feature a giant game world, 40-person raid bosses, guild sieges, a dynamic world, and more. I mean, this all sounds really exciting, but there's no release date and there's almost no gameplay or anything about the game just yet. We saw a few screenshots and that was it, so we're just showing off some Dark and Light gameplay in the background, and that's for the PC version, as there's nothing to show for the mobile version. It probably won't be out for some time, but they are working on it. I wish them luck because it is definitely an ambitious game. Moving right along, in some unfortunate news, Hero Song is shutting down. It's the roguelike sandbox action RPG by John Smedley's new studio, Pixel Mage Games. The entire studio is folding. This is after they raised $94,000 on Indiegogo, and they actually put out a working product. But despite this, the studio is shutting down, most likely because it just didn't catch on the way they expected. It was still in development and it wasn't quite finished just yet, but it is shutting down. Anyone that did back their game on Indiegogo is eligible for a refund, and they can get refunds via Steam as well. So no one's going to lose money on this besides the investors, but it's still sad to see the game go. Rest in peace, Hero Song. And speaking of games shutting down, we have another game shutting down this week. We have an announcement from horror-themed MOBA Deadbreed that the game will be shutting down on January 31st. The game spent 2 years in early access and officially launched on Steam on April 14th, 2016, but it just never had a large player base. It never got users over 100, so it just couldn't compete. Honestly though, it shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone trying to compete with big juggernauts like League and Dota, who just absolutely dominate the genre. It's very rough to make it as a MOBA, with just 3 games dominating the space. But rest in peace, Deadbreed. Moving on to some more positive news, there's a new card expansion for Shadowverse. A bunch of new cards have been added to the game, and the expansion is called Rise of Bahamut. I probably killed the pronunciation of that. To celebrate the launch of the expansion, Psy Games, developers of Shadowverse, are giving everyone 10 free card packs. This should not be too surprising, as the developers of Shadowverse have been extremely generous by giving everyone free packs for every major event, holiday, and everything else. Honestly, one of my favorite aspects of Shadowverse is all the free packs the developers give away. It's a really good way to get players hooked on the game, and if you took a break from Shadowverse, maybe come back and check out the latest expansion, which includes 105 new cards. Up next, a tiny bit of news from Perfect World Entertainment. They'll be publishing a new Jurassic World game, and beyond that, we know nothing. It's just that they will be publishing a new game called Jurassic World Survivor. It hasn't been formally announced just yet, but they did register the website and a trademark for Jurassic World Survivor. The only real takeaway here, I guess, is that Perfect World is getting a little more aggressive in getting out new games. They made that partnership to make with Turtle Rock to make that new AAA co-op FPS, and now they're publishing a new Jurassic World game, so I guess they're going back on the offensive of launching new games, but we'll have to wait to learn more. The next and last bit of news this week comes from Install Games regarding Guardians of Ember. They launched Act 3 for the game, which releases 10 new zones, 20 new dungeons, and a new level cap of up to 40. The game is still in early access on Steam, and it still does cost money. It's an action RPG developed by the folks who made Runes of Magic, but it costs money, so I'm a little skeptical. If the price comes down, I might check it out, though Matt has played it and has good things to say about it. But anyway guys, that's it for MMO News this week. It was a bit light on news only because of the holidays, but things should pick up next week. Anyway guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the podcast. Later guys.